Is a big stock market crash incoming for price to start trending to lower prices? We're going to go over key things that we can kind of watch out for to identify when the S&P 500 might start pulling down. Also like IWM, the Russell 2000, and also QQQ is like the NASDAQ 100. They're all kind of different in their ways, but they all kind of move similar. Some move faster than others. The one that I might expect to move faster lower will probably be IWM because it's more small caps on the bigger side. So this might pay more of like put options. If you look from the high that it made in November all the way to the low, it dropped almost 30% down in April 2025. But if you look at the S&P 500 from the high all the way to the low, it only dropped about 21%. So IWM will drop faster, puts might do more. So that's what we're kind of going to go over. We'll also go over a couple other stocks that are starting to get a little heavy to the downside, like NVIDIA, also like AMD. Meta's also starting to get a little heavy to the downside. We have Microsoft starting to get a little heavy to the downside. So some stocks might turn more bearish than others faster. So I'll probably focus more puts on those stocks and like other calls on different stocks, right? So it all depends on how this market kind of reacts. I think next week we might get a little more bigger movement. So smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna start posting out a lot of content on this second channel. It's your boy Will Knowledge. Now, S&P 500, we do have a support right around 643.20. If you look at the 5-minute chart, we had a little drop. We're starting to get a little softer around this support area, trying to hold us back up. Now, we are not bearish by any means on this market. We are still technically bullish, in my opinion. We have a lot of levels to break for me to turn bearish, right? We have to break like this support area. We have to break like this support area and this support area. And if we get all the way down to around 620, with push, that's when I will probably turn bearish on the market. So I'll keep updating you guys on support levels as they break. But another major thing on the SP 500 that we want to watch out for is its resistance level. So we do have a new resistance level at about 648.05 on the SP 500. So basically, if we hold this price level, Monday market will be closed for Labor Day weekend. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. But if we hold this support area around 643.20 and Tuesday, we start coming back up and we break this resistance, then that means the market wants to go back to all-time highs. I'll start looking for calls and so much more. We are playing calls and puts right now. If you look at what we scalped August 29th, we did like 6 scalps today. I do all this live where I'm entering, where I'm exiting to really understand the market and how it works. You can see all the plays that I do. Did 4% Google, 5% Google, 3% AMD. Then lost 17% on AMD, then made 27% on AMD, then did 21% on IWM. So we had to fight a little bit on AMD, but overall got the bigger profit. And then we did IWM as well because next week's going to be a little slower because it's going to be a holiday week. So I wanted to make sure we got in some profits. The day before that, I did 14% on NVIDIA. I actually lost -23 on Microsoft, but I only used a little bit so of the NVIDIA gain because this NVIDIA gain did like 40%. So we were really done. So I only gave it back 20% of profits in NVIDIA. Remember, winning is cool, but keeping it is better. And also being a manager of your own account is very crucial. Risk management, understanding how much you're up, how much you can lose, use percentage basis and all that key stuff. Make sure you guys join the team. First description, elite yearly and lifetime memberships, all available to get access to the Discord. And you get to see how the market really works in a monster eyes. And I try to help you out the best way I can. Okay. But this is what we're looking at for the S&P 500 to identify. So we're not bearish yet. A lot of people said that the market would drop in August. We didn't get any drops. Maybe this little drop, but we quickly recovered. Little drop, quickly recovered. We are still bullish. So any bigger swing puts and so forth, I'm not really looking for those just yet until the market actually turns bearish, right? The best way is you want to play in direction of price. We don't want to try to fight price because then we're just losing when it's like no point. We don't have to do that. But whenever the market is ready to start pulling down and it's showing us signs that it wants to pull down, it's continuing down like here, right? Remember, the market was bullish. The market stalled out for a long time, for like 4 months, 5 months. And then we actually had that bigger pull down. When it's doing this, we're breaking areas, we're turning bearish. Then we'll start focusing on more puts because you're more likely to win more on puts if you're trying to play the downside and price is actually going down. But those are levels for the S&P 500. Now, some stocks that are starting to turn a little to the lower side. AMD is getting a little to the lower side. So what I want to do is I want to take all the levels off. AMD is technically still type of bearish. You do have a support, bullish. You do have a support area on AMD right around like 164. I would say that's your support area. I am looking for AMD to kind of drop a little bit more down to like the 156s. The only way this would change my mind of AMD coming down is if AMD came back and broke this smaller resistance area. So you have support at 164, but AMD has this resistance at about 168.60. So if we came back up and broke that resistance, then AMD might want to have like a bigger retracement higher, not really turn back bullish because AMD is a little stalled in this kind of range. It kind of reminds me of like NVIDIA, but that's what I'm kind of watching out for at AMD. And I know NVIDIA had earnings, but NVIDIA is getting slow in that upside as well. So NVIDIA might want to start pulling down. What could be a key sign of that is that support level at 173.85. If we start breaking that, maybe today, maybe Tuesday, that's going to show more signs that NVIDIA is ready to pull down. So I am building up bigger cash positions so I can start buying these whenever stocks get back on cheaper pricing. 𝐾𝐿, I want to update levels. This is like the NASDAQ 100 if you are watching it. We have a resistance at about 575.70. That's your resistance level on 𝐾𝐿, and your support area, smaller support, but still a support area, I would say is right around 570.50, okay? And then you have like your secondary support of a smaller one, probably like around 568.40. So these are like two areas of support on 𝐾𝐿. And like I said, the market is not bearish yet, but once we start breaking these key areas that I'm trying to give you for my analysts, then we'll start more expecting downward size, so which means I'll start focusing more on puts than calls because I want to play in the direction that price is going. Since price is bullish, we're focused more on calls, even though we play puts and calls depends on the day. But I'm focused more on where price is going to. It helps you out just a lot better. And then IWM, like I said, could move more to the lower side. But let's go ahead and clear all the levels off. We actually scalped IWM this morning. We literally just scalped it. We got puts on IWM right around here, and then I took the profit on IWM right here. That's when you saw that play of over 21%. It only took like a couple minutes. So like, say if I put $1,000, it would have been like $200 within a couple minutes. I'm gonna start posting those videos. I'm gonna start showing you. I'm gonna put a little $1,000 in there, and you'll see how it makes $200 within a couple minutes to really build that confidence behind the strategy that I kind of use every morning the market is open. It's just a little more visual that you can see instead of me just showing percentages, which might help a little bit more. 233.30 is a support area on IWM. IWM is still lagging. IWM never really hit all-time highs, so it is technically still lagging in this market. I would say your bigger resistance area is right around 240.60. I am thinking about playing calls or maybe like a bigger outdated type of call, like a 6-month out call on IWM to try to run up to the all-time highs before we have a bigger crash. We'll see, but we'll kind of see off this pull down, right? If we kind of hold this pull down on like the Russell 2000, so like AMC and all those are kind of in here. If we have that pull down and we break that support, then I'll probably focus more on puts on IWM because IWM will probably come down to like the 230s or so forth. But if we hold the support like on Tuesday and we try to come back up, then I'll start looking for more calls for IWM to get to like in the 240s and get closer to like those all-time highs. Even like SMCI is pretty much turning bearish. Like SMCI, I really don't see any upside on it. It would have to break all three of these resistance levels for me to try to look for upside on SMCI. So it would have to break 44.55, which is your first one, 45.55, which is the second one, and also 46.05, which is the third one. It has to break all those for me to want to try to play upside on SMCI. So for now, all I pretty much see is downside for SMCI. I do want to play like a reversal, but this is like one of the stocks that's turning bearish than other ones. So we want to watch out for that on the SMCI front. But I wanted to go over the bigger names and so forth, the indexes, the ones that have a lot of major stocks in them. Then also, if you look at gold, gold is also showing signs. If you start seeing strength in gold, that might be a little fear in the markets because people start kind of transitioning their money to gold. So we kind of want to watch gold. We do have a play on gold. We already took some profits off gold as well in like 15%. I'm looking for gold to do about 100%. I want gold to go up to about 317s, all up to 325s. My main target is really like above 320 on the gold front. So gold is breaking that resistance level at 315.20, which also could show some weakness that's coming in the market soon. Because y'all know last time, anytime gold kind of has these pushes, the market gets a little weak. We have been stalled for a long time on gold. And notice how we've been stalled on gold from like April to like August. If you look at the S&P 500, April to August is when market actually turned back bullish. Okay, when the market was dropping here from February all the way down to April, you see gold doing what? Moving. February, April, moving. Then it got slow because the market got bullish. Money transferred over. But now market seeming like it's starting to pull down. A lot of people scared September might crash. you're starting to see gold kind of start running up. So we want to watch that as well. Start looking to play gold more. Also, silver is breaking the area at 35.65. So I might play silver calls before the market closes, or I might just wait till Tuesday. I am looking for silver to go up to the 37s as well. Silver is getting strength, so money might be transferring as well. You also want to watch like the bond market. Bond market's not really doing much. We're probably waiting for interest rates cuts, but bond market could be a pretty nice play. I want to play the reversals on like TLT to get back above the 100s, 120s. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Kind of watch out for these key areas. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you guys join the team first in the description. Always remember, no recommendation of ours. So anything just for educational purposes only. So do not trade anything you see or hear in the video. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.